guys, so this morning we are going to just chill out and kind of have a chat. I have my mug here of coffee, which is in my Tehachapi mug. Shout out if you're from there, because I got stuck in your town one time driving back from Vegas, and my boyfriend and I decided to get a mug to commemorate the experience in a nice Comic Sans font. So yeah, to you, Tehachapi. Today's video is going to be pretty much all about what the title is, but I do want to kind of start off with a little bit of like a channel update and like some plans that I have, and just, this is a very casual video, just because I feel like chatting with you guys today instead of doing like a whole thing, a whole production. I don't do productions, as you know, but you know, instead of like a informational video, well, it will be informational actually, but it's a casual kind of informational video. Anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about, well actually, first of all, I want to say, can you believe it's been almost 2 years of No Makeup Mondays? Granted, we only have like 60 something videos in the playlist. I probably missed some, putting the videos in the playlist. There's probably some that are missing, but you know, it's been almost 2 years. In May, it'll be 2 years, so I can't even believe that we've been doing No Makeup Mondays this long, and I've been that consistent. I have missed days, obviously, last week. Hello. But that's gonna happen. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna, be on top of it all the time. So anyway, moving on. So as you guys know, with this whole monetization, I'm tired of talking about it. I know you're tired of hearing about it, about YouTubers complaining about it. I'm not here to complain to you, actually. I'm here to... I don't know. I'm here to tell you what I have planned for this channel. So it's not like going to be, well, it will be a huge change for me, and I don't know if this is even going to be maintained, but let's just say I will be adding a third video every week. One thing that happened is, not one thing, it's been a couple things. So the last 2 psychology videos I posted, romanticizing or stop romanticizing depression and the most stigmatized mental illnesses. You guys know I posted those the last 2 weeks or whatever, and well, it's been a minute, but basically those videos were demonetized, which is normal for me. Every video that's been demonetized for me is usually 98% of the time is a psychology video, a mental health video. I talk about it on Twitter all the time. If you don't follow me, get some updates over there. But for the most part, it's my psychology videos, and I've expressed how frustrating that is for me, because I don't believe that talking about mental health is not advertiser friendly. I think it should be appropriate for all ages. Granted, some of the content that I do, such as the Stop Romanticizing Depression, I can totally understand why that video was confirmed demonetized. I did show some graphics that they weren't graphic, but they were not appropriate, I think, for children. And the topic I was talking about with self-harm and everything, it was controversial, I'll admit that. Not every video is super informational in that way, and I didn't do the video to be shocking by any means. It was informational to me, sharing this kind of behavior is not helpful, yada yada. You've seen the video. If you haven't, I'll link it. Anyway, that video, totally understand why it was confirmed demonetized, but then my next psychology video was also confirmed demonetized, which normally that doesn't happen for me. If something's demonetized, it usually is watched by a human and then turned back on, which I appreciate YouTube so much. Because they do actually take the time to look at my videos and then turn the monetization back on my psychology videos. So I am very grateful in that process. Granted, sometimes it takes them a week, sometimes it takes them a day, so you do lose out on views and money in that time, but at least they have something kind of going on. Let me take a sip. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this topic up, because we need to get on to like the actual topic of the video. So my second psychology video that I posted after that was demonetized and confirmed it. And I didn't really understand why in that video. It was very similar to many other psychology videos I had filmed in the past that were turned back on, like monetized again. So I was a little bit confused and concerned, because I think I just spit really bad. I think that they are kind of changing things a little bit and being a little bit more strict, which this is where I would normally complain. And yes, I was worried. I was a little bit discouraged at first, but then I thought, I always said I'm not going to take away that content. I am not going to move that content to my Patreon. I'm not going to do that. If you want to support me on Patreon, by all means, but I'm not moving my psychology content over there, because I still want to talk about it. I still want to spread awareness and talk about the things that I talk about. I'm not going to limit that to just people who want to pay for it. So that's going to remain the same, and I'll probably do Mondays as psychology videos only, and do No Makeup Mondays as psychology videos. And then I will be doing 2 other videos that week to add another video, and those 2 videos are more likely to be more advertiser friendly, or, you know, just like get ready with me's thrifted videos, how I do my fake nails, you know, things like that. So I'm actually very grateful for YouTube for, you know, kind of doing this, because it has gotten me a little bit out of a rut, and it has allowed me to be more creative in coming up with different video ideas besides just psychology videos, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I do want to, you know, pursue more of my passion for thrifting and do more videos. I just bought a ton of drugstore makeup, and I'll be doing that video on Friday. So I'm very excited about like the future content that I'll be creating, and like exploring my other passions besides just the psychology videos, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's all I wanted to really say about that. This is the week that you'll probably see that start happening, so stay tuned for the next 2 videos that I post this week. Hopefully you enjoyed my thrifting tips video. It's exporting right now, so you shall see that soon. Or rather, you've already seen it, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Alright, where am I going to put this? Let's get into being mental health first aid certified. So I did get certified in mental health first aid, and I thought I would do a video talking about this because I wanted to explain what it is, what I can do, and what I learned, because, you know, I learned some cool things. Granted, most of what I learned is either something I learned in school already, getting my bachelor's degree, or common sense that I already knew being a mental health advocate. But I thought I would share it with you guys anyway. So you get this handy book. It's very informative. I love this book. This in itself is worth the price of the class. Basically what I did, well, I actually didn't find the class. My aunt found it and sent me a link to it. I signed up. It is normally a $300 class, but the county got a grant, so I was able to take it for $25, which is amazing. You do get a certificate. They provided breakfast, which was very nice. Basically, it was an 8-hour course, so I did 4 hours on Tuesday and 4 hours on Wednesday this last week from 8 to 12, and they teach you mental health first aid. And it's basically, it's not like what you would learn to work at a suicide hotline or anything like that, although you do learn strategies and skills in dealing with a crisis, or someone who's going through a mental health crisis, or, you know, is thinking about suicide or self-harm, things like that. So you do learn like an action plan for that, which I'll get into. Basically, the certificate even says this is trained to provide initial help to people experiencing mental health problems, such as depression, anxiety disorders, psychosis, and substance use disorders. Those are the 4 things that we went over in the 8-hour course. In the book, however, there is a section on eating disorders as well, so I'll be reading that on my own time. And basically, it's about learning the knowledge, what it's for. I'll tell you what the class is really for. It's for people who work in school, the education system, or some kind of mental health job and need extra training and how to deal with these crises moments, or just, you know, mental health problems, things like that. Any kind of people that they work with, you know, it's just a helpful course. And honestly, it'd be helpful for everyone to take, and they should teach something like this in a high school, I think, or even community college, or offer a class like that, because I think that would really help. We either all experience a mental illness at some point in our life, or we know someone who will or has. So we, you know, it is a common thing to experience mental illnesses in society. It's just highly stigmatized and not so much talked about. So obviously with this, you're not certified to diagnose or treat or anything like that. You just learn the skills in how to help someone who's going through it. They teach you how to help someone going through a panic attack, what not to do, questions to ask to someone who might be thinking of suicide, and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. It was an interesting experience, and I'm really glad I did it. It's been a while since I've been in school, so I was kind of itching to like learn something new, which, you know, like I said, most of it was stuff that I already knew, because, you know, they went into depression and anxiety disorders and things, which, you know, I have studied at great length in my education, but it's always good to get a refresher, and I really enjoyed it, honestly. We did a lot of exercises, which was very interesting to me, and Also, I think those kind of exercises should be implemented in schooling for mental health as well, and just, you know, in high schools as well. I think they should start teaching it in high schools. So basically what that action plan is that I learned is the ALGE plan, which stands for assess for risk of suicide or harm, listen non-judgmentally, give reassurance and information, encourage appropriate professional help, and encourage self-help and other supportive strategies. So that's kind of what they, you know, drilled into us during the 2 days, is this ALGE plan of helping someone who is experiencing mental illness symptoms. And I'm not gonna lie, even though I talk a lot about mental illness and mental health, and I talk a lot about helping people and being open and reaching out for help, that is way more easier said than done. You know, reaching out for help is very difficult, and it was hard for me, even as strong of an advocate for it as I am. It's not an easy thing to do just because you study it or learn a lot about it and you don't have that stigma. It's still really difficult. What also is really difficult is helping those that you care about or love, or even strangers that you see might be experiencing something. It's really hard to reach out to that person and be empathetic and let them know that you're there all the time, you know? I think that comes easier to some people than others, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people where it's a little bit more challenging for me. I'm always there for my friends and I do tell them that, but if they're experiencing something, it can be, I don't really know what to do, you know, in that situation. I have experienced situations like that where I am just kind of there to listen. I'm a great listener, but as far as what to say is sometimes a real struggle for me, and also not knowing what to do in a situation. For instance, they had a video example of someone who was experiencing symptoms of schizophrenia, and I don't know in that moment if I could have been as calm as the woman in the video or known what to say if they are experiencing hallucinations and things like that. I wasn't too confident in what I would really do in that situation. Even though I know a lot about schizophrenia, I don't necessarily know an action plan to help that person through that, or who to contact, or what resources there are. You know, I just didn't know. So that's really the main thing that I learned in this, is to be calm and confident when you are helping someone through something, and not show your own personal agitation or concern or anything like that. And I do believe that I would now have the confidence, because you're not there to cure them, you're not there to provide like a diagnosis or anything like that. So it's not as much pressure on you. It's mostly to be understanding, non-judgmental, let them know that you're there for them, to listen to them. So in that way, and the exercises that we did and the exercises that were, you know, in front of the class and things like that were really, really helpful, because it wasn't just sitting in a class being told, okay, so if you're in this situation, this is what you're going to say. We actually had to, or had the the opportunity to kind of practice that almost, or experience that, you know, through the exercises, which normally I am, you know, I'm very shy, so I don't like to, you know, talk to a lot of people, but the people who I was sitting with at my table were very kind, and I felt like comfortable there, you know, especially after the first day, and going back the second day. It was really awesome. There were only 2 people in the class who were not working for an agency out of like 20 to 30 people that were there, so I was one of them. Kind of just there for fun, for myself, for future career, I don't know. And what is cool is this certificate lasts until 2021, so I do get a good couple years out of the class and to be certified. It basically just looks good on a resume if I were to apply for something that, you know, I work with people. I think if you just work with people, this is a really cool thing to have. There is a whole category on psychosis in here, which that was probably the most helpful section that we learned about, because I wouldn't really know how to respond in a situation where someone is experiencing schizophrenia symptoms, like I said, or psychosis symptoms rather. They don't go hand in hand all the time, which I will be doing a whole video on psychosis versus schizophrenia, because I do get a lot of questions about psychosis. It could be triggered by a lot of different mental illnesses, drugs, things like that, so it's not always related to schizophrenia. Okay, so I will say one thing that happened that was a little bit interesting for me that I didn't really know how to respond, and it was kind of awkward, and I really hope that they don't see this video. I don't think so. Only one person wrote my channel name down at the table, and it wasn't this person, thank God. So no offense if, you know, she does want to watch these videos, it's fine. But I'm just, okay, so this was a weird situation for me. So I had opened up to her because she had asked me if I had experience with mental health issues, not necessarily personally, but what I do in real life that, you know, is relevant to the class, you know, because my job was kind of unclear to some of them, you know, to say that you work in YouTube and social media. It's a weird thing. They don't see how it could be beneficial to know this information if it's online, which I think we've come a long way to where not all interactions with mental health professionals and whatnot is in person anyway. So I had told her, you know, I know a lot of people in my life who have mental illnesses. My mom, you know, experienced severe depression growing up, and I myself have seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression. And she kind of questioned that a little bit, which made me feel very uncomfortable. She said, well, aren't you here in Sacramento? Which that's kind of the area that I'm from in Northern California. And I said, yep. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, granted, our winters here are not like the East Coast or anything like that. Today it's sunny. It's February. We have global warming going on, so we have a lot of sunny days here in the winter, which for selfish reasons I've been loving. It's been helping a lot with my seasonal depression, but that doesn't mean that we don't have rain, that we don't have gloomy days, cloudy days, and most of winter is cloudy in this area. So I don't know why she questioned the fact that I have that disorder when we do have clouds here. I think she expected, oh, well, you can only have seasonal depression if it's 100% clouds for like 4 months straight, which is not the case. Common misconception. No, you can have seasonal depression, you know, when it's not necessarily cloudy every single day for the whole winter season. You obviously have good days and bad days when that happens. When the sun's out, I'm feeling so much better. When the sun's put away, I'm not so hot, you know? So it can happen, and I just felt kind of awkward in that moment because I felt like I had to defend my mental illness and my experiences, and it was weird, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. So that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about. Like I said, I didn't have a plan for this video. I had no idea what I was gonna talk about. Here's some of the book if you want to look at that. There you go. I did learn a lot of cool things, you know. It's always good to reiterate what really is non-judgmental listening, what is, you know, what are the right questions to ask and things like that. Now it's through the county that I live in, so I went to the website of education with the county, or at least that's what my aunt sent me the link for. So you can always look up mental health first aid in your county and see if they offer any classes if you're interested in taking it. I know, like I said, it was originally $300, but it was, you know, kind of on sale for $25. So I think it can be kind of pricey if you look it up. But this class should be taught in high schools, I'm telling you. Anyway, that's kind of it for today's video, for today's No Makeup Monday. I'm sorry it's so sporadic and all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed just kind of chilling. I'm gonna grab my coffee again. You enjoyed kind of just chilling with me today, this morning, on this Monday. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a good start to the week. Look forward to this week's videos. I'm very excited about them and the start of these new videos coming up and the content I'm planning and filming, and I'm so excited about it. So anyway, on that note, leave some video requests of what you want to see, whether it's beauty related, thrifting related, anything like that down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.